areas of the Inland Empire could see a year's worth of rain in just a matter of days.
A massive mud flow in Yucaipa sent debris rushing down the street, sweeping away everything in its path.
Cars were buried in the mudslide, and
Live in
now
Yucaipa
miles
with
of
more
roads are
details.
blocked off.
And by inland, we mean into San Bernardino County.
Our surrounding mountains and vegetation amplify the threat of fire and flooding. We must stand ready to act at all times to keep our community safe. Tropical Storm Hilary was the most recent test of our readiness. With burn scars in the area of the El Dorado and Apple fires, we knew it wouldn't take much rain to cause flooding. As Hilary moved in, we acted, alerting the public and encouraging preparation. We offered sandbags at our 3 fire stations, and by Saturday, we helped fill more than 15,000 sandbags for our residents. Weather reports showed severe rain hitting on Sunday, so I ordered an evacuation in areas near the burn scars. Once debris and mud flows began, I ordered those residents who hadn't evacuated to shelter in place. Sunday morning, we staged an incident command post at the community center. CAL FIRE supported the City of Yucaipa with support personnel, additional fire engines, and a hand crew, and we positioned our resources to stand ready. Strong winds moved in with light rain around 4 p.m., knocking down trees and power poles. Our public works team jumped into action, clearing roads for emergency response. Heavy rains moved in soon after, and we were in full emergency response mode. Water overflowed and damaged our flood infrastructure. Damage grew by the minute, leading the city manager to declare a state of emergency. Public safety and public works personnel worked throughout the night to keep the community safe. In Hilary's aftermath, the city experienced more than $8 million of damage, but we didn't log a single casualty or major injury. Days like that test not just our emergency preparedness, but our entire city's resolve to come together. While hard in the moment, events like Hilary show the best of what Yucaipa can be.
We were being told by the experts that this is going to be a bad storm.
Well, I was getting nervous as the storm was approaching. I was hearing a lot of different things that could possibly happen.
So in order to help our residents prepare for Tropical Storm Hilary, we got ahead of it with information. We started pushing out information about 24 hours beforehand about evacuation warnings and orders.
The city had dump trucks, they had tractors ahead of the storm ready to go.
Our fire department, our fire chief, Grant Malinowski, did amazing things, getting sandbags in place. There's thousands of sandbags that we made available and were taken by residents in our community. We put our CERT team on alert, our community emergency response team were there. These are volunteers. These men and women have full-time jobs and families they protect, and they came out to help do evacuations. Our sheriff's volunteers were out there doing evacuations, getting people out of the danger zone. And ultimately, it was just pushing the message out that this is not a fire. You're not gonna see it coming. When that hill gives way, if you're in that area, it's too late. At that point, you just gotta hunker down and hope we can get to you to help you evacuate later.
So when it hit pretty hard. I live up here, and it got pretty crazy. Power went out. We saw houses that were flooded. We saw tree trunks up against homes. We saw that the roads were just rutted and tore up. It was pretty devastating.
So that night around 10 p.m. I received a phone call from our city manager letting me know that we had received pretty substantial damage to city infrastructure, and we had crossed the threshold where we needed to declare an emergency. It's best that we declare a state of emergency that really opens up those reimbursement abilities. We can seek that federal aid so that we're not bearing the brunt of this, unprecedented hurricane turned tropical storm hitting California like we haven't seen.
I was in shock and awe to see how everything was just so organized. It was amazing to watch. Our fire department, our police department, the rescue. I mean, in there listening to them talk, it was unbelievable.
Our fire chief, Grant Malinowski, that man was sending out updates like you wouldn't believe, keeping the council informed, keeping our city administration informed, and ultimately working with his partners at the sheriff's department to push out the information. I have to give a huge shout out to our police chief, Michael Walker. I learned in the days following Hilary that he was out of state taking his daughter to college. He wasn't due to return until after Hilary. He made the decision on his own to fly back on his own dime because this is his community. He's our chief of police, and he needed to be here for disaster. So huge shout out to him. That is the professionalism we expect in our chief and that the sheriff's department gives us.
When I was at the command center, people were coming in and they were dropping off cases of water, donuts, food, anything they could do to help. They were helping the fire department. It was just awesome to watch the community just come together on this.
To those volunteers, I'm gonna look right at the camera. If you're a member of our CERT team and you're watching this, thank you so much. Our city wouldn't be what it is without you. That is the God's honest truth. Sheriff, search and rescue, again, volunteers going out while we're hunkering away from the storm to go out and knock on doors and tell people get out while the getting's good. We wouldn't be what it is without it. And quite frankly, our community services department did an amazing job as well in ensuring that we had our emergency operations center ready to go.
I think the city did outstanding with this whole disaster. I mean, they nailed it. They were prepared for this one, and they did an outstanding job.
Yucaipa is a community first. We look out for one another. I heard amazing stories of people grabbing shovels, grabbing their tractors, going out and helping clear mud right next to the Oakland Steakhouse. That's not the city of Yucaipa, but by God, those are our brothers and sisters in our region. They come and shop in our stores. We go up there and patronize their businesses as well. So we came together. We made sure that we were taking care of one another. We were cleaning up the mess, and we did it as a community. We did it together, and that's what it is. That's what makes Yucaipa a community. I'll never call it a city. This is a community where we look out for one another, and I'm damn proud to live here.
The tropical storm showed how important it is to have a ready, firm foundation from which to act. When I assumed the role of city manager earlier this year, I noticed a problem. The foundation in City Hall was in need of repair. The city was struggling to execute on the nuts and bolts basics of local government. Roads were in disrepair, homelessness and crime were growing, key city departments were understaffed, and in many cases, staff were not equipped with the tools they needed to get their jobs done. For a long time, the philosophy at City Hall had been to do more with less. But the lack of support was catching up to staff. Consequently, morale was low, and residents were looking for action. So, the City Council jumped into action. It started by approving contracts for on-call road repair services. These contracts helped expedite road repairs that exceed the capacity of our in-house crews. The city purchased new equipment to help our road crews be more effective. The council approved a sunshine ordinance to increase transparency. Video of our meetings is now broadcast online, where the public has direct access to critical information. The council followed that up with a series of ordinances that put teeth into our municipal code, giving public safety personnel effective tools for keeping residents safe. Earlier this year, the council identified addressing homelessness as a top priority. And last month, the council adopted the Homeless Strategic Plan to aggressively tackle the issue. We filled positions that had sat vacant for years, and people are starting to notice within City Hall and out. Staff noticed the changes right away.
I've been with the city for 25 years, and I am proud to be a part of the history that has made Yucaipa what it is today. Recent changes position us to reach new heights. We've implemented a new organizational structure to better support and equip staff. Staff feel empowered and motivated and are taking pride in their work. I know I do. We are going through a major software systems upgrade with Tyler Technologies. One upgrade will improve our permitting services. When complete, our customers will have access to enhanced and automated service options. Another upgrade will help modernize our payroll and HR procedures. We've revamped the mobile home rent stabilization program. Our goal was to make administration more effective while preserving rent control protections. These are a few examples of some of the changes that are helping us to be more productive and efficient.
It is truly a new day at City Hall. While things are looking up at City Hall and in the community, we still face some very real challenges. Our most difficult challenge has to do with our budget. Since 2019, the city's general fund has been operating with a structural deficit. Costs have skyrocketed over the past several years. Our police and fire services alone have increased about $3 million from last fiscal year. Today, we're looking at a structural deficit in the general fund and fire funds of more than $7 million, and we're relying on our reserves to bridge the shortfall. Staff is aggressively working to develop solutions. Residents want and deserve a high level of service from their city government. That means well-maintained roads, safe streets, quality parks, and family-oriented activities and events. To provide the level of service residents expect and deserve, we're going to have to solve our growing budget deficits. This will be a major focus in the year ahead. It is a dream come true to manage the city in which I live and the city that I love. I'm working to make our community a place you're proud to call home, because I want this to be a place my children are proud to call home. Under the City Council's direction, we are working to rebuild our foundation and execute on the basics of local government.
Getting back to basics in Yucaipa is priority number one. We care about what the public thinks about what we're doing, and we're here to serve the public. It is a conscious decision for us to get back to basics and serve the public. My job as an elected official is to serve the people of Yucaipa, and all of the things that the City Council is deciding to do now going forward is to that end. And we believe that everyone that pays attention to what we're doing will understand that that's our goal.
So when you consider all of the changes that have taken place in the last 10 months, from transparency in City Hall, road repair, public safety, the changes here at City Hall, and the morale at City Hall.
Yeah, the city, we had a good foundation a long time ago, back when I first got here, in the 80s and stuff, and we kind of veered away from that for a while. Now that foundation is getting even better, and our roots are getting deeper.
So the budget in Yucaipa is something that's very, very important to us. We want to make sure that we're fiscally sound. We discovered that we had a structural deficit. That doesn't mean that we're out of money. That doesn't mean that we have a serious problem. That just means that we need to reorganize or revamp the way we do business, and we have put everything in place to make that happen. And we're absolutely confident that going forward the next couple of years, we're going to be able to manage it in such a way to get back on track and be physically sound once again.
So when we talk about on-call road repair, I think it's one of the in the forefront of everybody's conversation in our city. In a conservative city like Yucaipa, the same conversations are being had.
Well, in the past, road repairs has been an issue that a lot of the citizens that live in Yucaipa have complained about. They've complained about their cars being out of alignment because they hit a pothole.
Tire repair and wheels bent and, hubcaps gone and stuff, and now they see the progress that we're making.
And so the road repair system, the emergency road repair system, is a priority for us because it allows us to make sure that we act quickly, solve the problem, and take care of the issues that the citizens of Yucaipa are concerned about.
We felt as a council that it was imperative that we became extraordinarily transparent, more than we've ever have been. While administrations have passed, started the framework for putting cameras in our council chambers and televising our city councils, it became a project that was pushed to the side and on the afterburners. We'll get to it later. We put that to be a priority. We wanted to make sure that communication with our constituents and our taxpayers, the people who we work for, was at the forefront of everything we do.
The transparency is really important to me. Now that they see what we're actually doing for the city, it's just amazing to me.
Because I believe in serving the people of Yucaipa, but transparency, letting people know what we're doing, broadcasting the meetings and making sure they're up to speed on what we're doing allows them not to have to come to a meeting, but to see what's going on so they can contact City Hall. So it's very important that this initiative be understood by the public and that we make sure that we're transparent in everything that we do.
Morale here at City Hall, and that representative that came to a city council meeting a few months ago to report that staff morale is the highest she's ever seen, and she's been around the organization for decades. That resonated with me.
My name is Mary LaPlante. I'm here because I am also the Managing Labor Relations Representative for City Employees Associates, and I represent the City of Yucaipa City Employees Association. Many of the employees in this group are standing behind me today. The employees are very happy. They are being given opportunities to speak up and are actually seeing that their input is being considered. This has empowered the employees. It is giving them hope that the future growth and development within their roles and ultimately enhancing the employee morale. It's higher than I've ever seen.
Staff is the most important issue for me as far as making sure that they're happy in their job, they're doing their job adequately. And having the representative from the union come to City Council and tell us that, it reassured us that what we did was good and that staff is happy and we're moving in the right direction.
When I first got to City Hall and started walking through, it was kind of, when I started saying hi, I'm very outgoing and stuff, and so I say hi to every one of the staff members and everything like that, and it was kind of reserved when I first got there. Now it's nothing but smiles. When I walk in and stuff and I wave hi and stuff, all I see is teeth.
Making the changes at City Hall has been a high priority for me. I think that the changes have been made, and I think we're in a good place moving forward. And there's a lot of things that matter for the citizens of Yucaipa, but the things that I'm most proud of is the changes we've made at City Hall, and now we're working on the homeless problem, and we're trying to make sure we either solve that problem or manage that problem before it gets out of control.
Yucaipa has earned recognition as one of the safest cities in the state. Your city council and police department are working to keep it that way. Protecting our children is an important step. The school district has 10,000 students, but had only one sheriff's deputy dedicated to our schools. So the council joined with the district to fund a second school resource officer to better safeguard our children. You should feel safe to shop and conduct business around town. You shouldn't have to worry about being approached in dark parking lots and at the ATM. That's why the council adopted an ordinance to crack down on aggressive panhandling. The council also tightened restrictions on blocking public rights of way. The council did this because you shouldn't have to walk in front of cars to avoid someone camping on the street. You shouldn't have to deal with drug houses in your neighborhood. That's why the council acted to regulate vacant homes that attract criminal activity. This action holds absentee property owners responsible for being good neighbors. In September, the council adopted the Homeless Strategic Plan. The plan is a landmark effort to improve public safety. The plan leads with compassion. It outlines a 5-step process that aims to connect individuals with the help they need to get off the streets and become self-sufficient. To execute this plan, we formed the multidisciplinary, solutions-oriented policing team. The team consists of law enforcement, code enforcement, and behavioral health professionals. This team will make contact with homeless individuals every day to get them help balanced with enforcement of the law. For those in Yucaipa that insist on causing trouble, the plan aims to hold them accountable. The City Council is working to give law enforcement the support it needs. The Homeless Strategic Plan and the updates to the Municipal Code are evidence of that. From adding a deputy to cracking down on drug houses and implementing a plan to address homelessness, we're making big strides this year in keeping Yucaipa one of the safest cities in the state.
Yucaipa is a really good place to live and a safe place to live because we have good community involvement and we also have a very good sheriff's department as well.
Yucaipa is probably one of the safest places to live because of our sheriff's department. Our sheriff's department is stellar.
One thing that makes the sheriff's department stand apart from maybe other law enforcement agencies is that they really get involved in the community. They take time to be personal and connect with the community and try to address their needs.
In thinking about what makes Yucaipa the safest city and what goes into making Yucaipa a safe community, we contract with one of the most professional law enforcement agencies in the country. The training is hand down the best in the nation. They are consummate professionals. Our deputies from San Bernardino County Sheriff. These deputies are Yucaipa police officers, and they come to work every day with your safety and my safety in mind.
You know, one of the things that being involved here in the city and seeing our schools and our law enforcement, they are doing a great job, but we've tried to actually bring them together and really have a strong partnership and making sure there's open communication between the two so that we can address issues as they come up and addressing them as a larger team rather than isolated entities.
Adding a deputy sheriff to the high school. We all saw the tragedies in Uvalde and the horrible things that happen in active shooters across our nation. And Yucaipa came together with our elected officials on the school board and we said, we're gonna do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen here. We're gonna find the funding, we're gonna put the safety of our kids at the top of our priorities, and we're gonna keep on doing that.
One of the issues we've had here in Yucaipa in the past is we've had either vacant homes or drug houses that have had a little bit of an impact on our community. And so the city has worked really closely with the Sheriff's Department in trying to identify those problem areas and really focus on enforcement and try to correct those problems so that the community can have a better quality of life.
How the Sheriff's Department is going to help with our homelessness plan, our solutions-oriented policing. They're the police of our city. And while being homeless is not a crime, really we don't get a lot of complaints about just homeless people. It's when the homeless people in our community are committing crimes. Same thing when regular citizens of our community are committing crimes. That's what people don't want. They want to feel safe here. It's not illegal to be homeless, but I can assure you that if you violate the law in the city of Yucaipa, whether you live in a mansion, you live in a box, or anything in between, you shouldn't feel safe.
One of the other things that we're working on is trying to address the homelessness here in Yucaipa. We are not trying to single them out and pick on them by any means, but we are trying to make sure that they are not contributing to any kind of criminal activity here in Yucaipa. But we're also trying to make sure we offer them resources and things to get them back on their feet, where they're independent on their own and able to contribute to society.
We've got a big problem with homeless. The thing that we just passed is it's huge for Yucaipa. If the homeless needs help, we're going to give them help. But if they're doing bad things, that's not going to happen anymore. It's going to come to a ceasing halt.
Over the last 10 months, the City Council, working in cooperation with our city attorney and our city manager, have prioritized public safety. This isn't a dog and pony show. We want action. We want to see results. We want analytics to break down the crime in our city, to see where we can best spend our money to protect you, to protect your children, to make the roads safer while you're driving. Abandoned homes that are becoming squat dens for homeless people to do drugs. School resource officers to protect our kids, our most valuable and altogether deserving of protection in our community. We want action. We want to make sure that we see our law enforcement officers at our schools. We see our code enforcement officers red tagging abandoned homes that are unsafe to occupy so that we don't have these problems festering up in neighborhoods. We're going to continue working with code enforcement, with our public works rangers, with our sheriff's department to ensure that Yucaipa is the safest city in Southern California, that Yucaipa remains the jewel of the Inland Empire.
Our city has seen significant growth and transformation this last year. One project that stands out is Yucaipa Point. This development has become a cornerstone of our economic progress. So far, it's added $260,000 in sales tax revenue. We've welcomed Chipotle, Quick Quack, Panera Bread, Five Guys, Ono Hawaiian Barbecue, Yucaipa Dental, and Dolly Nails. This project added over 200 local jobs here in Yucaipa. In August, we welcomed our first 3-story commercial building with a great ribbon-cutting celebration, the La Quinta Hotel. The La Quinta Hotel not only brings luxury accommodations to our city, but it also bolsters our tourism industry and budget. This remarkable addition to our community is set to have a profound impact for years to come. Yucaipa's Uptown District has continued to thrive, doubling its sales tax revenue in just the last 2 years. We've welcomed a new wave of local businesses to the boulevard, and it's now filled with life. Cludes, Rebel's Burger and Brew, Uptown Apothecary, Monstro's Sub Shop, and Metal Kitchen Food Truck are just some of the exciting additions. Our facade program, we've invested $50,000 to help businesses improve the look and feel of Uptown. We saw groundbreak on the city's first warehouse project. When this project is complete, the use is expected to generate up to $1 million a year to the general fund. Investments in infrastructure, helping increase property values, open development opportunities. Improvements on the Dunlap Channel and Wilson 3 Basin led FEMA to remove the flood zone designation and open up hundreds of properties to further development in the Dunlap area. I certainly hope you had an opportunity to make it to the Five Winds Music Festival this weekend. What a weekend, that was tremendous. The event brought some of country music's top acts, thousands of attendees, locals, people from out of town, all supporting our small business community. As we move forward, the Economic Development Department remains committed to fostering economic growth, supporting our small businesses, and creating a thriving city for all of us to enjoy. Together, we'll continue to make Yucaipa a place we're all proud to call home.
The City of Yucaipa is business friendly. We care about our businesses. We want businesses to thrive here. The city does everything in our power to make that happen. Our staff loves new business. They love to support the existing business. The City Council also is encouraged by all the new businesses We're open for business, and it's business friendly in Yucaipa.
What makes Yucaipa a great place to do business? Because we're Yucaipa. We're a great community. You know, we all get together as a family.
Yucaipa is a great place to do business because we're a very close-knit community. A lot of community involvement, a lot of opportunities for businesses coming in here to keep some of our economic revenue within our city.
The city of Yucaipa encourages economic development. We want to have new businesses. We want to have jobs for the folks that live here. We've had a lot of new growth in the city of Yucaipa from new restaurants in the uptown where we can support the business, encourage the business, hire local people to work in the business for the purpose of economic growth. We have Kaiser Permanente coming to the lower part of Yucaipa. Those employees there will be able to have lunch at our local restaurants, have dinner here.
In the past year, we've had a lot of new businesses come to town, which has given us a lot of opportunities for new jobs to the community. We have a Kaiser Center coming in down the road. We've had several new restaurants, such as our Hawaiian barbecue restaurant. We have a Quick Quack car wash, Panera Bread, Chipotle, a number of new restaurants coming in. I'm excited to introduce to you today the site of our future 250,000 square foot industrial warehouse building, the first one of Yucaipa. Currently, the job site is employing approximately 100 jobs, but down the road, when that warehouse is open, we're going to have several hundred jobs during its height while it's operating. The good thing about having this warehouse in our community is it's going to really give us a shot in the arm in our economics, being able to take care of a lot of maintenance issues, infrastructure issues that we have in the city, and it'll really help our economic baseline.
The fact that we have our first real hotel in Yucaipa in a long time, everyone's excited about that. We're ecstatic. We've got another hotel coming, we believe, very shortly. And what that does, it provides us the opportunity to have folks stay in town, to come to our festival, stay in town, to go to Oak Glen, stay in town, and basically go to the pumpkin patch and participate in the things that we're working hard to develop to serve the folks of Yucaipa.
To having a new hotel, it's a great thing because, you know, when we're playing softball tournaments and people come in from different states and cities and stuff, they have a place to stay instead of outsourcing somewhere else.
You know, we just had our Five Winds Festival up here in Yucaipa, and it's a great opportunity to bring people in so they can see the businesses and the things that the city of Yucaipa has to offer. We had a great concert, great crowd showed up. We also, the gateway to Oak Glen, so it gives us the opportunity to capture some of the revenue and some of the crowds coming through our city as well.
A city cannot operate unless it has economic development and economic growth. The city council that we currently have and the staff that we have takes it very serious. We need more growth so that we can continue to provide the level of services that makes sense for the folks that live here.
Well, Yucaipa, it's been a long 10 months. We've come a long way. I really believe we're on the right road going forward. We're building a better Yucaipa, a safer Yucaipa, and we're doing it together. I love to call this place home. It's a community and we all work together. And working together, we're gonna reach new heights. You let me know when you're ready. All right. Rip's ready.